Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and we're at the start of a new year, and that means the Sunday videos are going to be back on the channel. So let's kick things off with a movie that I finally watched. I finally watched Scream. This was directed by Wes Craven, we all know who he is, and it starred Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Matthew Lillard, among others. This was loosely inspired by the case of the Gainesville Ripper, and it tells the story of a young girl named Sidney Prescott, played by Campbell. She is haunted by the assault and murder of her mother nearing the year anniversary of that horrific incident. Around this same time, a series of killings is going on, with a mysterious figure wearing a very common mask, with a particular influence being horror movies, specifically of the late 70s and early 80s. With the new Scream coming out in just a couple of weeks, I wanted to finally sit down and watch this movie for the first time. And now that I have, I can definitely understand why people like it so much, because this was actually really good. Probably the one thing that everybody knows about this movie is just how kind of meta it feels, and now that I've seen it, I definitely see where it's coming from. Wes Craven placed a lot of Easter eggs and kind of inside baseball stuff to where if you weren't paying attention to it, it could easily go over your head. Now, I complained when I was talking about The Matrix Resurrections of how going meta can be very cringe. However, this was actually quite clever. It also helps that Wes Craven was behind the wheel, someone who has had a great deal of success in the horror genre and would have for the remainder of his career. Basically, all the references are placed into the Randy character played by Jamie Kennedy. He's a horror movie buff who literally just goes around and says, "This is like," and the ending of, say, Prom Night or Halloween 78, something like that. He famously has his 3 rules. The last one of them being never say, "I'll be right back," which leads to one of my favorite moments of the movie when Matthew Lillard says, "Hey, I'm gonna get a beer. You want one?" And Randy's like, "Yeah, sure." And then Matthew Lillard goes, "I'll be right back!" And everyone just completely pops. It's fun stuff. Also, there's a bit of a blink and you miss it reference where, let's just say, Drew Barrymore, who literally has only one scene, and if you've seen the movie, you know which one I'm talking about. There's the one where she basically says the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the first one was good, but then the rest were pretty bad. Kind of tongue-in-cheek from Mr. Craven. But strangely enough, for a movie that pokes fun at horror movie cliches, in a weird roundabout way, the movie actually does a good job of crafting a very compelling mystery. I think the biggest compliment that I can give is that I thought that I knew the twist of this movie, I think about 20 minutes in, and then things happened to where it made me doubt myself. I was like, I thought it was going to be this person, but no, I don't think so. And it's rare for a movie to make me do that, but kudos, because that absolutely happened. And for being meta and poking fun at horror movie characters who are like stupid and such, I think here they actually provided some pretty compelling ones. I really enjoyed Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott. I thought she did a very nice job. It was very nice to see Matthew Lillard. I actually spotted him because he was Shaggy in the 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies. It was weird seeing him with shorter hair and no goatee, but it was nice to see him. I like the guy who they cast as Billy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I'll put it in the lower third. But the entire time I was thinking to myself, why wasn't this guy in more stuff? And I looked up his IMDb. After this, he was primarily in television shows, which, good on him for getting work, but I don't know, I felt like he could have been utilized in more movies. That's just me, though. Like I said, Jamie Kennedy is really fun as Randy. Drew Barrymore is very good in her one scene, and I'm sure you know the scene I'm talking about. Courtney Cox is really good as this tabloid-type reporter who, if this movie took place today, would definitely be like a podcaster of some kind. And then there's David Arquette as Deputy Dewey. Now, I actually know David Arquette more from his wrestling exploits. He was a WCW champion in 2000. Everybody hated it, but then through the years, kind of rehabilitated his image in the wrestling world to the point where he actually wrestled a death match with light tubes and thumbtacks. It's brutal stuff. Like, if you want to learn more about it, watch the movie You Cannot Kill David Arquette. Like, it's quite good. Arquette, though, was actually quite a good choice for this kind of deputy who is like, oh, I'm the big man on this. But when it comes down to it, like, he's not really all that much. He's not a complete pushover, but he does have a pretty high opinion of himself. It's a delicate balance, and I think Arquette did a pretty good job. And like I've been bringing up, I think the biggest compliment that I can give is that despite the fact that this movie was Wes Craven kind of venting his frustrations with Hollywood and the slasher movie industry, the industry that he basically created, basically him just saying, you know what, I'm going to tear it all down. By him tearing it all down, he accidentally made a really great slasher movie. I kind of like how realistic everything feels. The killer is not invincible. He I don't know if that's a spoiler, but he gets his butt kicked sometimes. He gets hit in the face. He doubles over. He takes a lot of falls. It's not like a Michael Myers or Leatherface issue where it's just these big lumbering dudes. There's a genuine mystery that it could be anyone, and I liked that. I liked the spirit of that. And at the end of the day, I was expecting this movie to be good, but honestly, I was actually quite surprised by the quality on display here. Now that I've seen the original, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the remake. It is coming out in January, and it is a horror movie. That's never a good sign. However, what I've seen from the trailers, it actually looks quite decent. They got Arquette and Courtney Cox back in their respective roles. Neve Campbell's coming back as Sidney Prescott, I think that's pretty cool. They've got some new faces. And it's being directed by the team that gave us Ready or Not, which I contend is one of the best horror movies of the 2010s. If the new Scream movie has any chance of being good, those elements are pretty much the movie's only chance. But if you've clicked on this video, I imagine you have seen this movie more than once. So, what was your favorite moment in Scream? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Also, and I'm kind of filming these out of order, but by the time this video is up, my video for my most anticipated movies of 2022 should be live, so check that out in the eye in the right-hand corner. Also, stay tuned for episode 1 of my new podcast, Life in the Movies with Ryan and Jacob. We're going to be talking about #MakeTASM3, that whole movement, and talking about all kinds of January movies. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for that. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.